well, I guess everybody's got fed and enjoyed a wonderful meal. Very tasty meal. We thank everybody attended. Next thing we got coming up is the introduction of the chief's guest. I'll have Jeff Luker introduce them at this time. Good evening. How's the dinner, everybody? It was all good? Yeah. Great. All right. Our first guest we got tonight, start off with GM1, Tim Yeager. He's standing up, so wave to him. Along with our girlfriend, Melissa there. GM2, Phil Shute. He's here tonight. From Alexander, we got Marshall Murley and his wife Darlene. Stafford, we got Brian Polcock and his wife Lori. From Leroy, we got Mike Green, captain, and his wife Michelle. From Wyoming, we got Rick Neisel and his wife Kim. From Darien, if everybody knows, Jeff Luker is here tonight. And I know I do this purposely, but last but not least, where's Mike? Mike Hale from Alba with his wife Tricia. Mel?
I'm short. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out on this wonderful, warm, sunny night. My guest this evening for EMS, I have from Stafford Fire Department, Matt Hendershot and his wife, Ellen. Please stand up.
Hello, everybody.
From Alexander Fire Department, I have Darlene Murley and her husband, Marshall. Please stand up and say hi. From our good buddies down the hill from Wyoming Hook and Ladder, I have Jack Moore and Howie and Jamie Rydell. And from Lake Plains Community Care Network, I have Charlotte Crawford and her husband, Greg. Thank you guys for coming.
All right, just have a give so let's present the president's guest.
I invited like 8 people and most of them didn't show up. What we do have here is Carl Hyde and his wife from the town of Bethany. We've got Sunir, Timmons, Danny Adams, Debbie Douglas is here, our town clerk. And that's about it. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, one more. From Steve Howley's office, we have Sharon White and her husband Paul.
All right, at this time, we're now get the guests introduced. We have a couple comments from the chief at this time.
One person that, I don't know if we forgot or what, but don't matter anyways, but Gary Mahan and his wife are here tonight. See, Mike, you get out of it now. All right, number of calls we had this year. Last year was 130. We were down quite a bit. We only had 110. We had 63 EMS calls, 17 mutual aid calls, 7 service calls, solar pumps, things like that. I'd like to thank everybody in the department for what they've done, showing up middle of the night. We've had a few fires at 4 a.m. A year ago we had our pig fire, if you will. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. It was 25 below out that morning. It was pretty cold, and a lot of mutual aid came that morning and whatnot, so I thank everybody for coming out for that. Also, I would like to thank the dispatchers. I don't think we got anybody here from there. Without them, obviously, we wouldn't be going anywhere. The sheriff's office, some of our road patrols and things like that, we've had them come out for the state police. Everybody down to emergency management office. Tim, Bill, and Jim down there, and of course can't forget Jeanette, to let Jeanette know that she does a good job. You call down there, she seems to know who you are on the phone without telling her. That's pretty good. She knows what she's doing. The wives, boyfriends, husbands, everybody else that lets everybody go on these calls and calling for all hours of the night. I appreciate that a whole lot. And the retirement system. We got a few guys in our department that retired, so it's nice they could come on with daytime calls, things like that. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that a whole lot. I know we got some coming down the line that are retiring, thinking they're going to be joining a little bit more, doing a little bit more whenever they can, so that'll be good. Some of the employers that we have, lets the employees go on the calls during the day and whatnot. One of them was Graham's. My 2 boys are from there. Jeff knows about that as well. OACA, we got some guys from OACA. Let them go. Leroy School. Without them, letting them go as far as they come, it's pretty tough to get a crew nowadays to get out. So I thank them. I appreciate that a whole lot. I thank everybody for coming. Appreciate it, and I'll let Mel do the rest.
Before we get started with EMS, I would like to introduce the medics for Bethany. These are the people who come out to your aid, to your call, to your service whenever you need us. Please stand when I call your name. Jim Duvall. He's my EMS lieutenant. Vicki Wolick. Caroline Jacket. I have 2 medics that were unable to be here tonight. One is Gail Smith, so I'd like to thank her. The other is Brad Fluker, who is out snowmobiling at Tug Hill, and I'm sure he's freezing, so good for him. I also have 2 medics that are in training right now that I'd like to wish the best of luck to, and you will be coming on board shortly, and I hope you will. Good luck on the test that's coming up. I have Ken Pietrkowski, please stand. And Brenda Adams, please stand. So ladies and gentlemen, these are your Bethany medics. We've done a call volume was down. However, we did do a lot of standbys. We stood by a pavilion for their 5K race. Stafford Carnival this year, that's always fun. I love to do Stafford Carnival. We stood by at Genesee County Park for the Memorial Day services and the Veterans Day services. We stood by for Mike at the Alba Onion Festival, and this past year I will always remember because while we were en route to Alba, Alba had a couple of calls prior to us getting there, and he had texted me on the phone saying, "Where are you? You know, we're coming, Mike, we're coming," and we did get there. We also stood by at Appalumpkin in Wyoming, the Genesee County Fair, and the Genesee County Park for their 5K and 10K race this year. As far as training goes, we have our monthly EMS trainings. We have our CME classes. Thank you, Charlotte and Lake Plains, for doing that for us. Charlotte is our backbone as far as getting us trained and up to date and current with our core content and any additional trainings that we might have. Without Charlotte, we'd be going back to school, and we don't want to do that. We have combined fire and EMS training each and every month during Monday nights. And one of my goals this year is to combine training with our neighboring fire departments. I know Matt and I kind of set up some training with Stafford and Bethany for March, and I'd like to do that along with Wyoming and maybe Pavilion and Alexander as well. So the more we can get together and train, I think the better off we'll be able to help our community. At this time, I'd like to thank the chiefs, the line officers, the board of directors, and the membership from Bethany. I'd like to thank Jim Duval, who's been my right-hand man right from day one. I'd like to thank Carl Hyde and the town of Bethany for all their support, the Genesee County Sheriff's Department and dispatchers, Mercy EMS and Mercy Flight, our neighboring fire departments, and the Emergency Management Office and staff. My husband and I have a special thank you going out to the Byron Rescue Squad and Marshall Murley and the Alexander Fire Department and anyone else who came in our time of need a couple of months ago. So my husband and I would like to say thank you very much for your support. And this is what mutual aid is all about. We always help each other. I'd also like to say a big thank you to all first responders, right from the Sheriff's Department to the firefighters to EMS. Without us, I don't know what people would do. People just don't understand and realize the amount of training that we have to go through to continue our certification, whether you're a firefighter, an EMS, a law enforcement officer, whatever. So I'd like to say kudos and hats off to all of us who are first responders. Also, there was a very nice article the other day in the Daily News. I don't know if you've seen it, but it went on to explain what volunteers have to do to become firefighters and medics and what have you, the number of hours we have to be trained to do this, and the number of hours we have to do to upkeep our certification. So that was a very nice article. Last of all, I want everyone to be safe. Enjoy the evening. Please stay for the entertainment. And happy Valentine's Day tomorrow to everyone. Thank you very much.
This won't take long. Just a couple things I wanted to comment on. A little over 3 years ago, we were audited by the state, and they didn't find any missing funds, no big red flags, but a lot of problems with oversight, lack of paperwork, a lack of written policies. The board of directors for the 2 years after that really struggled to get this done, really didn't get much done. But at this point, I'm happy to report that the board of directors we've had for the last year have really done a great job at stepping up, getting the written policies in place, making sure the procedures are there so our fundraisers, everything's documented and written down, and they've really gone a long ways to get that side of the department in line. When you join a fire department, you don't join because you want to sit in a room for hours and write down figures and add and subtract things. So they really need to be recognized for their efforts and the time they've put into that. The second thing I want to comment on is, for most of the years of our existence, the early years, we always struggled with money. 30 years ago when I joined, we had old rubber turnout coats. Most of them were dry rotted and ripped. Tin helmets. We had a couple of trucks that broke every time you took them down the road. Since then, we've gone a long ways to come up to modern equipment. With a couple exceptions, there's still some things we'd like to get to bring us up with being equal with everybody else. But those money days, those money problems are, for the most part, behind us. We'll never have the money other departments have, but we're doing a lot better. But the problem we have now, and this is no surprise to everybody, is our lack of membership. This is by far the biggest problem we face. If we can't solve it, we're not going to exist much longer. A lot of departments are going to go the same way. This year we started a recruitment and retention program chaired by Jeff Pietrkowski. They've made a lot of attempts at things. They started with bringing back old members and keeping the members we've got. And their plan in the near future, their next project is a recruitment program for new members. We all need to get behind this. Do whatever it takes to get some people in the door, or we're done. That's all there is to it. So I guess that's about all I'm going to spout at you today. Thank you very much. Hope you all have a good time tonight. And maybe see you next year.
All right, I know as I look out there, I see a lot of EMTs and firefighters I've known for a lot of years. I've done a lot with a lot of good people, training and that stuff, either through the county and the advanced, or with the city of Batavia as a basic EMT. And then it's nice to see you guys still out there. Now, as a teacher, though, you know, we get abused. And right now, the city of Batavia has an EMT class going, and I have two people here that are in this class now. I'd like to ask them to stand up. Ron and Adam. Sarah, thank God. They're in the class now, they're doing very well. Matter of fact, they're doing too good sometimes. You know, they do clinical ride-alongs and that stuff, and Mercy's kind enough to do the ride-alongs with us. Well, we always teach the people when they go out and, students when they go out and do their skills, they got to be compassionate. Well, the other day, they got called for a woman seasoning in a bathtub. So they went, and sure enough, they got up there with a lady actively seasoned in the bathtub, and water, and they did their stuff so she didn't drown and that stuff. But they kind of went a little too far. They tried helping her out. I just don't know if you should throw a load of dirty laundry in the tub with her at that time and help her out. But they're doing very well. They're doing great at the class, and thank you very much. Oh yeah, Sarah, Jimmy wanted me to tell you this dinner included your membership to Bethany. We expect you to respond shortly. Okay, at this time here, I'm going to ask Tim Yeager to come forward and do the installation of the line officers.
Thanks, Tom. Sergeant Walker is here. I don't know if anybody knows Sergeant Walker. Sergeant Walker. I believe you're running for something?
Well, no, I'm not running.
Oh, you're not. You're not. Well, you're just the number 2 guy. Trump. No, never mind. If you would please come up so I can install the officers. Jeff Fluker for Chief, 2016. First Assistant Chief Jeff Pietrkowski, Second Assistant Chief Bradley Fluker, Captain Jamie Fluker, Fire Police Captain George Larish, President Jimmy Phillips, Vice President Christopher Page, Secretary Lorelai. Sorry.
It's okay.
Treasurer Jeff Bullock. Board Directors Vicki Willis, Vicki Johnson, Ron Adams, Joe Paul, Mel Davis, and Bill Shea, and Fire Police Captain Mel Davis, and Fire Police Lieutenant, First Aid Lieutenant James Duvall. You're not, face the crowd. Please raise your hand. I do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and the bylaws of this fire department, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office to which I have been elected to the best of my ability. You can lower your hand. As an installing officer, I now declare the officers of the Bethany Fire Department duly installed for the year 2016. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen.
It's always appropriate to remember the men and women of the Bethany Volunteer Fire Company who have entered into eternal life. And of course, these men and women are the salt of the earth, the unsung heroes of this community, and all of you are unsung heroes. But as we come this evening, they did something for us that still flows through us. They learned how to work together, they learned what the good of the community is, and they protected our property. And so we recognize 4 people this evening. The first one is James Smith. He was a charter member of the fire company. And while he was not able to fight fire extinguishing calls as he went out, because he was also a lineman in the electric company. So many times he was at the same fire you were at, but he was making sure you would get electrocuted. And therefore he knew that going out in all kinds of weather, he could be part of the fire company. And he remained a part of the fire company because he volunteered. And one of the things he volunteered for was the carnival. How many of you remember a carnival here? There was one or 2 people, but there was a carnival. And he set up all the electrical things that had to be done so the booth at the carnival could continue. So he's one of our members. Another one is Ed Miller, another life member of the fire company. And of course, by nature, he was a salesman, so he got to know just about everybody. But he also worked at the carnival, and I imagine he also worked at a bingo game on, what was it, Saturdays or Sundays when you had them? I think he worked at that as well. So he's another one of those that we know helped at this fire company. And then we had 2 women this year, too. One is Marion Haybell, who was an early establisher of the women's organization of the fire company. She was a leader in many other ways in this community as well. And she was part of the fire company when it started for women joining the organization. And another one who was an auxiliary member of the women is one of Debbie Merkel, who also was part of that. These people are joining the ranks of those we no longer see, but we remember in our hearts. And I thought we'd have this prayer with them. Let us pray. Oh Lord God, we give thanks for the lives of men and women who were examples to us of dedication of service and who worked with us. And when God saw that they were getting tired and could no longer be, God put his arms around them and whispered, "Come to me." Our hearts were broken, but we know you take only the best. Their lives showed us pride and joy in the work of a fire person. And when the gong called and the whistles blew on the sirens of our trucks, we knew this: you shielded them from danger, whether it was being filled with smoke, drenched with water, scorched by flames, frostbitten by the cold, struck by falling timbers or explosions, and all the time knowing fear in their hearts, but doing their job. They did it to help our community, to save lives and property. They gave to us a vision, a love, a hope, a light to follow in our lives until that great day arrives for us too, who remain behind, that we will meet them in eternity
and be with you and with them, O God, the God who is our creator and sustainer of everyone. And then an unknown person wrote what is called the firefighter's prayer. When I'm called to duty, God, wherever flames may race, give me the strength to save some life, whatever be its age. Help me embrace a little child before it's too late, or save some older person from the horror of that day. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest cry, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to fill my calling and to give the best in me, to guard my every neighbor and to protect his property. And if according to our faith I have to lose my life, please bless with your protecting hand my family, friends, and me. Let us receive benediction. God's grace, which is far beyond human understanding, keep your hearts and minds safe in Jesus Christ. Amen.
All right, at this time I'm going to have Chief Jeff Fluker come up and present the membership awards and the Firematic Award for members.
She keeps telling me I need to clean this out. I guess I better. Okay, I think I'm ready. All right. We do a top 10 every year. We'll start out with 19 calls this year. Was made by Brad Fluker. He isn't here tonight, like Mel says. He's up to Dog Hill riding sled. So we'll save that for him. Next one, 24 calls, Lorelei Jacket. Next we got Mel Davis, 25 calls. Brian Britton, I think I see Brian. Brian had 28 calls this year. Next we have Vicki Willick with 29 calls. Next, George Laris with 29. Next, we got Chico. He had 30. Next, we got Jeff Petrukowski, 47 calls. Next, we have this individual. He isn't here tonight, but last year I talked a little bit about family competition. This year I had 63 calls for myself, but Jamie made 64. He doesn't know what I told him I had 65, but I don't know. Jamie's up north with Brad snowmobiling, and I called him this morning about 7. I asked him how cold it was. He said it was 15 below. I said, nice. He asked me how cold it was here, and I said, where I'm sitting, it was 70 degrees, and it was nice. Our top responder this year with 73 calls goes to Jim Duvall.
You're retired.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Next, Jeff, can you come up? There was a few years ago, 3, maybe 4, we was at a fire, mutual aid was in Wyoming, and I got there, I think Brad was with me, whatever else, but Wyoming showed up. And they had a barn, or Pavilion had a barn fire, Wyoming showed up, and Wyoming's truck pulled into the driveway, and this fairly new kid got out of the truck and got the pump running, started spraying the hose. And I'm thinking, what is he doing? He was spraying down the house, and all of a sudden somebody says, Howard, what are you doing? I turned around and looked, and the house had all the windows open. The lady come out going, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're filling the house up with the water. She said, the fire's behind you, not in front of you. Howard works same place I do. He works down as E&M. So I said to him the next day, I said, what was he doing? They said, they told me to spray the water, so that's what I did. But it's pretty comical. At any rate. They did tell him to spray the house down because they're cooling the house down. So he was doing what he was supposed to do, but it's pretty funny. The lady came running out of the house saying, you're filling up my living room, but the windows were open that night.
Saved the siding.
Yeah,
They didn't melt off the house.
Saved the siding and they put a pool, an indoor pool in at the same time.
Tried doing a community service and I get crap for it.
You did good, Howard. You did good. You got along right. You're doing good. On our recruitment and retention, we come up with a points deal for everybody. Number of calls they make, training they make, and meetings and attendance and things like that. Most everybody was able to do that. So we have a little something for them tonight. Jim Phillips.
Thank you.
What they are t-shirts. Dave, do we know her? Dave is our newest member. He started and he's doing a lot of hard things now. The next one we got, we do a lot of mutual aid with departments do because they may belong to one department but live in our town. This next guy, he does a lot of calls with us. Carl Homer, I know you're here. Jeff Wood, come on up, bud. Jeff's our treasurer this year. So now we got lots of money we can spend. Brownwood, B. Wayne Walker. Peggy. Brian Britton, when she ain't here. George Larish. Orla Bye-bye. Chris, where's Christopher?
He's still walking straight. Right, he's got to show up.
Okay, what you see, Chris is holding up the shirt. He's the one that designed it for us. I think he did a good job. Todd, up here, Todd. Jim Duvall. Kim? Vicky? Jill?
Hi. Thanks.
Okay. Ones that are not here, Bill Shea, Pat Pichkowski, Chico, Todd, Jamie, Ryan Hendershot. Ryan's works for the city now. Whenever he gets a chance, he comes out and helps us do our fit testing and our gear inspection night. And Brian Britton. Thank you, everybody.
Stuff is length of service awards. Some of these people aren't here tonight. Again, they didn't show. The first one's Wade Geedy, 5-year pin. We'll keep that for him. Sandy Fluker, 10 years. And next we have Ray Cipriano. Ray's here someplace for 15 years. And next one is Mel Davis for 15 years. Debbie Douglas for 20 years. I just get him when they're in the bathroom. And Tom Douglas for 20 years. Apparently they're related. Jim Duvall for 20 years.
That's my second one.
Oh, really? Well, good for you. Dick Majors for 25 years. Jeff Wood for 25 years. Congratulations, Jeff. And this last one's going to take a little explaining. In this department, when you've been in 50 years, you get a green jacket and the recognition that goes along with it. Sometimes over the years we've missed that. In this department, when you join, you pay your dues for 20 years, you become a life member. and then you're carried on the rolls basically until you pass away. Quite often people come and go and we don't see them for a long time, so we try to sort out the names. We don't mind recognizing people for what they do, but sometimes people get recognized just because they're still out there. So we try not to do that. So because of that, sometimes somebody passes through the gaps, they don't get the recognition they deserve. This next gentleman has been here 55 years. He didn't get his green jacket. We will correct that right away. And this is kind of a little special thing for me. He was a chief when I first joined 32 years ago. And when you first get into fire service, that's the guy that really makes the impression on you when you're first starting. And he certainly made a good impression on me and taught me how to be, what a leader does and what to do in the fire service. So for 55 years, Wayne Walker. Yeah, Wayne, don't go far. Steve Hawley's office also sent some things through from the state. This is a citation for Wayne for 55 years. Thank you very much. See, some of these people we haven't seen around here for a while. One here for Bob Winspear, who was a chief many years ago, but unfortunately lives in Florida most of the time. We don't see him much. Jeff Woolek. Hey, what do we got here? How many years we got in for this one? Jeff, we got one here for a citation for you from the state for your 20 years. Dick Majors. Another one for you. Senator Hawley's office. Virginia Gayton, I don't believe she's here tonight. She's a long-time member of our auxiliary. Tom Douglas, man, don't give a word to anybody. And Jim Duvall. We'll keep that one. This one's for Dave Hebel. Dave isn't with us this evening. And I guess that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the time and effort you've put in. Congratulations to everybody that's here this evening and received an award, and have a good night.
At this time, I'd ask Walter Wenold to come up and deliver the benediction, please.
Okay, I didn't see it, I forgot about it, I brought it here, put it here an hour ago and forgot about it. Part that we give away this, my Chiefs Award this year, goes to an individual that they're there just about on every call, always putting in their 2 and 3 cents, sometimes a nickel involved in that. We should try this, we should do that. He's helped out in more ways than one. Behind the scenes, in the office, always has a lot of good advice. Watching out for others when everybody else is busy. He's kind of like sees all and ends all type of guy. This year, my Chief Award goes to Jim Duvall.
Should I just sit right there now and save the steps?
That includes some of the harassment that he gives me quite a bit. He usually gives him his 2 cents worth on top of it.
After the wonderful meal we had tonight, I thought I'd have to reduce. And I read a story not too long ago where a fellow thought the same thing, so he went to see his doctor. And the doctor said, well, I can guarantee that you will lose 5 or 6 pounds if you follow my story. For 2 days, eat regular meals. For the 3rd day, skip. Come back in 2 weeks and see me. So the fellow came back in 2 weeks, and he got on the scale, and the doctor said, it's amazing, you lost 25 pounds. How did you do it? Did you follow my advice? The man said, yes, I did, but that 3rd day was horrible. Why, did you hunger? No, it's just from all the skipping on that 3rd day. Anyway, let's have our prayer. Oh God, you're on our right hand, you're on our left hand. You're in back of us and in front of us. And we want you to be with us that we might feel your help as we're doing our duties. And as we stroll with us in the morning, noon, and afternoon, and evening. And then, oh Lord, be with us too in our failures as well as our successes. And always strive with us no matter where we go, that you may be intertwined with our life and will give to us that love and peace and grace. We ask this in God's name. Amen.
It's about going to wrap everything up tonight, but before we get done, we want to thank the people that made this possible. We'd like to thank the caterers, the Dibble family Center for providing us such a great meal. Excellent job, very good food. We'd like to thank the DJ, those guys, entertainment. And we'd like to thank the photographer, Caroline Natalia from Chords of 3 Photography. They weren't on my list, but we'd like to thank them as whoever was on the banquet committee. You did a very good job. Things went well. And that, it's appreciated.